I wish it was as sexy a story as all of theirs. I got a call from my agents to audition for this. Now, the thing is, I didn't get a call. I got an email. I was overseas in London, and I got the message at like 7:30 before I was heading out to, basically was going to have to be an all-nighter into a flight. So they sent me the audition, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, after being up all day and all night, I picked up my phone, I recorded the audition, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna book this. Send, get on the plane. and then found out later, oh, that one worked out. Okay, cool. But like everybody else, I have no idea. The code name was there. My character she wasn't called Symmetra yet. She was going by Satya, her given name. So I had no idea about what we were getting into until really the recording session. And then I saw some of the artwork and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. We're in it, it's happening. So yeah, that was basically my audition.
I see. Would you take us like a step-by-step procedure and how did the recording session go for each and one of you?
I think it was slightly different for each of us, but basically with our recording sessions, we'll go in. We don't get any of the lines ahead of time because again, they're very smart about keeping things out of our hands until the last minute because they want to keep it all under wraps. So we'll go in for a session and they will give us the lines, and then our session director, who's usually Andrea Toyas, who's also the casting director and voice director over at Blizzard, will give us direction along with Michael Chu, who's the head writer, and he'll be either on the phone or wherever, Skyping, and they'll have us do the lines and give us some more direction and tell us sort of the situation that we're in, but not a ton of specifics. And we'll just go through bam, 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 and do like 3 takes of each or 6 takes of each until they've got what they need. And then, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to forget which ones I actually recorded, and since we don't know which lines actually make it into the game until they make it into the game, we have to be completely quiet about what we recorded because there might be something we recorded in a session a year ago that then gets used in the game now. So it's very much you go in, you do the job, and then shut it down.
I see. How about other stories about the recording sessions from Overwatch actors?
I know for me, much like Anjali just said, I always immediately forget my script as soon as I walked out. So I have no idea what I've said until then I later see a video or an animatic or I'm playing and I see it and I'm like, okay, now I know. Because they give us just line by line by line, and we don't necessarily have context and know what we're saying, my question for my casting director, my voice director, is always, what am I responding to? What line am I responding to? Obviously I need background, but what am I responding to? And then that way I can give the right inflection. But that's the only interactive part. We're all always alone in the studio. It's not like we're all together recording or recording against each other. And a session lasts generally about 4 hours. And they wait until the end for all the screaming and dying and falling and going through windows because they don't want to blow your voice out in the beginning. They want you to have enough voice to get through the session.
Oh wow, I see. So that's what you guys go through. But how about your character? I'm actually curious on how it's close to, the you and in comparison to your character. What are the similarities? Let's start with Pharah.
What I said, so our casting director and often voice director, Andrea Toyas, she's really a genius. I mean, I think that she saw into each of us who we were and what our character was and what things she could find in us. And I feel like, I'm a much sillier person than Pharah is, infinitely. And I think that she saw a certain soulfulness and seriousness in me, or heard it in me, when I first worked with her on World of Warcraft. And so when she cast me for Pharah, she knew that it was there. So what's beautiful about Pharah is just how genuine and soulful she is, and that I have to tap into that whenever I'm doing her lines, which is lovely. Like, there's no butter on the bread with Pharah. Farah's just a really good piece of bread, there's no butter on her. It's nice.
Awesome answer. How about you, Feodor?
Well, I am a robot, so that worked out. Nice. No, well, I think I'm a pretty chill, pretty relaxed guy, and I think there is a bit of that. Well, Zenyatta. There's no one more zen or relaxed than Zenyatta, as you know. So I actually wish I were more like that myself. And in fact, the sessions for me are very relaxing and peaceful. And
damn you!
Yeah, I know. The complete opposite of most video game sessions, because like Jen was saying, usually the last half hour or hour is spent on what are called exertions, the grunts and the screams and like, oh God, I'm dying, that kind of thing. Grenade!
Sorry, can we pause for an applause for this amazing? He's acting out whatever you're saying. It's
Sign language.
So Zenyatta doesn't really have to do any of that, and so it's great.
What does he sound like when he dies then?
I think there's maybe one
just like,
falling sound that. And because
so jealous.
We have to go
I know,
through fire
because,
and then die. When you go through fire and then he's dead.
oh yeah, and because he floats everywhere, so there's no run, there's no like, and he doesn't breathe, so there's no, I don't have to do any of that, and it's great.
Wow. So your sessions are
Yeah.
shorter.
I'm there like an hour, maybe.
Oh my gosh, you want to see it?
I'd like you less somehow
It's
right now.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's really the easiest job. No, it's a great job. I'm so blessed. But, yeah.
Man, even in death, they're set.
Meanwhile, we're like, okay, so now you fall off a cliff, then you hit something on the way down. So now it's like, like we're doing that for 20 minutes.
Or fire, then you die.
It's a thing.
Oh my, it's just amazing watching you guys. How about you, Carolina?
What was the question? Oh yeah, similarities? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, what?
You're an expert hacker.
I am really good at
She hacks me
computers,
regularly.
guys.
She hacks me regularly with
Are you
helium.
kidding? I'm constantly calling friends and being like, it says my disk hard drive is full. What do I do? Like, I know nothing about computers, really. I always say the same thing. I love her dark sense of humor because I'm a little bit like that. So I like that Sombra has a little bit of a, she makes fun of people, and with love, and she makes fun of herself. And I like her sense of confidence. I think she's just badass like that. I connect with that.
I can see that. I can
Totally, you
totally
are badass. I'm just saying. She is kind of badass. Have you guys checked out her fight reel online? You want to see her fight online? Go online and look up Carolina Ravassa fight reel. Yeah, I'm her PR agent too. Did you know that?
I pay her the big bucks.
Time to Google, guys. Time to Google.
Talk to Google. Talk to Google.
Exactly. How about you, Anjali?
Well, one similarity that's just a tick of mine. I can't deal with picture frames that are off. So I'm always constantly doing that, which I know Symmetra is always, she needs order from chaos. She's so much cooler and more elegant than I am, because I'm like, do-de-do-de-do, and she's always grace under pressure. But I do identify very much with her desire to do everything she can to make the world a better place. And whether or not the character is aligned with the right people to do that, her aspiration for a better world is so clearly at the forefront of everything that she's trying to do. And I feel that way. I feel that way. Like, we're so lucky to be a part of a game that depicts the world as something that's worth fighting for, and depicts this world that's full of inclusivity, and that even though there is danger and chaos and all of these things going on in the world, it's a world you want to be a part of. And so to me, that is in line with this feeling of, I want to use acting to make a better world if that's possible. Whatever we get to do, and I feel like Symmetra does the same thing, that she's taken that desire for other people not to experience what she experienced as a young girl in the slums. I think she has developed this sense of personal justice and morality that is based on that, rather than taking her circumstances and using them as an excuse not to move forward or to be beaten down. And I'd like to think that I have that in me because, we'd all like to think that we have a little bit of a hero in ourselves.
Wow, that was amazing. It just shows how deep Overwatch is as a game. And I feel like a lot of the people could relate to certain characters and their story.
Yeah, we often talk about this, that it's so cool that not specific to any ethnicity or background or anything like that, each one of these characters is so multi-layered that there is always something for anybody who connects with the game or the lore or the stories to connect with. There's some character they can identify with, there's some character that they can say, oh, that's a little bit like me, and that then can help them identify the hero in themselves because they see that person kicking ass and they know, well, I can do that too. That's a really exciting thing. That's why we tell superhero stories in the world, right? We don't want to wait for Superman to come save us. We want to be Superman. Well, I don't want to be Superman. He's boring. But Did I just get in trouble? No, he's just so good. He's always good. He's a good guy all the time. I need someone who's got a little bit of a dark edge. That's a psyche thing. But yeah, I think that's it.
Give a round of applause, everyone.